Today's video is about opening up to miracles in our lives, opening up and allowing miracles to happen for us. Hello, welcome to Manifesting with Folake. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button and also hit that bell so that you get notification for new content as they drop. So, opening up to miracles in our lives. I mean, one of my most favorite things that I love to do is allowing things to happen in ways that feel totally like magic. Like, this is one of my absolutely favorite thing to do. In fact, sometimes I chuckle to myself because it feels like I say to the universe or God, I desire this, or I feel like stepping into this, or I feel that this is calling to me. And I absolutely do not know the how that thing is going to happen. But I'm like, just, make it happen for me. Make it happen. I don't know the how, and I surrender the how. All I know is that I have this desire, I have this calling. So let's see how it will come to be. And usually, almost all cases, it always comes to be. And it always fascinates me with how things seem to happen in ways that I didn't even know the how before. But then, here it is. So I absolutely love living space for magic and totally believing in this idea of miracles. For those who know my story, you would know that, once upon a time, I had a brain tumor. And I was told that this brain tumor was going to be something that I lived with permanently. And I was on medication. As time went by, I had to, or I felt the calling to change something in my life, or to actively look at how I could heal this brain tumor, even though I was told that it was going to be permanent. So I went on this journey that was the journey actually that brought me into more of like my spiritual nature, more of mindfulness, and essentially doing this work that I do now to help other women tap into their own inner power to heal and to transform and to create in such powerful ways. So I went on this journey, and so many things so many stories to tell you along the way. But one of the most powerful stories I know of miracles was or is with regards to this brain tumor that I had. Because I remember one night having this dream, this very vivid dream, where in the dream I saw this entity, and then this entity guided me. Like, the place was barren, by the way. It was a barren place. Like, if you can think of like the desert, but instead of sand, it was just dry ground with cracks. So it was like really barren, it was really dry. I still remember it very clearly. And this entity guided me to this other being, and I call it a being because this was more like the energy felt like just, I don't know, like a masculine man, or I don't want to put words to it because it just diminishes the experience. And then guided me to this being. And when I approached this being, I knew that I had to I say all the things that was worrying me, and I just went into my human, and I started to say all the the things that I was worried about then, and they were like very much more the physical needs. I remember he put his hand like the back of my head and then dropped something onto like a table, and it was like a lump or something, and he just took it and dropped it. I can't remember the rest of the dream, or even if I woke up. But then I woke up and the dream felt so weird. And I remember telling my mom of this dream that I had, and she was like, it feels like a good dream, like maybe you had a healing. Anyways, fast forward to perhaps maybe days or weeks after, I went to the hospital, the specialist hospital that I go to get my normal MRI scan, because they do this regularly. And at that checkup, the doctor was like, there isn't anything there anymore. So from that moment, I was told that I could go home and I didn't have to take my medication. And very hesitantly, I was like, really? So I stopped taking the medication 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And that has been like perhaps even 6 years now or 7 years that I haven't taken that medication. And for me, this is a very pure example of miracles happening in our lives where we don't know how, but for, one way or the other, one reason or the other, we see evidence of something that we cannot explain. So I absolutely love the idea of allowing miracles to help me along this journey. And, I am opening space or opening this conversation and giving you some really nudges for you to allow miracles in your life, because in this day and age that we live in, where we are so busy and always so doing, and as we do so, we tend to come a little bit more and more into our physical existence as opposed to that soul existence. And a lot of us are forgetting about the miracles, and a lot of us are refusing to believe in magic, and we just think it's just like it's just something that people talk about, or it's just rubbish. But when you start to open up to miracles and you start to open up to magic, you will start to see the evidence in your life. Until we start to open up to it, until we start to be open and actually expect it, we don't see it. So the first step in allowing miracles and allowing magic in our lives is to start to not just open, but to acknowledge when they do come. So one of the things that I say to my clients is, or I ask them, I said, when was the last time, you had a synchronicity in your life? Because for me, synchronicity is one of the first steps to, seeing the magic in our lives and actually opening up to the magic and then to the miracles. Synchronicity, where things seem to just fall into place in ways that you cannot explain, or like things seems to happen in a way that feels like easy, aligned, or things happen in magical ways. So I ask my clients, like, when was the last time you experienced synchronicity? And a lot of times when I ask this question, some may say, actually, I can't remember. I don't remember. Or some, maybe we take time and we really just go back, and then they start to recollect the last time they had synchronicities, and they'll be like, oh my God, I remember that time when I was just thinking about my friend, sitting there thinking I should call her, and then all of a sudden she called me. Or I remember that time where I was just desiring this, this kind of food, or I was desiring to get this thing, and then all of a sudden I started to see it everywhere, or all of a sudden somebody gifted me this thing, or I remember, and then it starts to come back, all the synchronicities. And for me, synchronicities are like this resonance of magic that's already happening in our lives, and sometimes we just don't acknowledge them anymore. And it's always, it feels to me like, if you had a parent, yeah, and this parent constantly was doing things for you and going, you say, mom, dad, I would love this. And the mom and the dad do everything to give you this. And then you go again, mom, dad, I would love this. And the mom and dad, gives you that thing. But as they give it to you, you don't even acknowledge it. It's just like, oh, okay, I've got that thing. There's no acknowledgement. There is no thank you. And the more you do this mom and dad after a while, it's not actually special for them to keep giving you those things that you keep asking for, because it's just now mundane. This is how I see it with allowing magic and allowing miracles to happen in our lives. We have to first be open to it. Yeah, so we step into our desires, we step into the things that we actually want, and we ask for them. And as we see things start to happen for us in ways that feels like magical, in ways that the synchronicities are happening, you think about, wow, I've got this business idea, or I've got this this calling to do this, or I've got this desire for something. And then you get this nudges to call somebody, that's very much linked into that idea, or very much linked into that calling that you had. And either you don't take the action to call that person, or you call that person, something happens, and you don't take the gratitude to say, oh my God, like I just had this idea and it just happened. Like, I'm so grateful for it. If we go into those sorts of way of being, it's like not saying thank you to that parent that finally just, not give up on us, but, stop to do those special things for us. So the first stage about allowing miracles to happen in our lives and opening up to these miracles and this magic is to ask, acknowledge, in gratitude for it. And then what you'll find is the more you start to open up that miracles do happen, magic do happen, the more it will start to happen, the more you will start to see it. Then the more you start to really acknowledge it with gratitude, even the smallest thing. Like I'm like a child, really, sometimes. Like every little thing, it feels so magical to me. If I'm walking in nature and the water is like beautiful still, I'm like, oh my God. Like I was just thinking about, like, desiring this peace and wanting to connect with nature like this, and it's here. I'm like a child, and like in a child in a candy shop. So I'm constantly opening up to this magic and to these miracles, and I'm constantly seeing them, and I'm constantly going into a state of gratitude for it. And the really beautiful thing with this way of being is, like, we now live in an environment, or in a culture where things feel so heavy and feels like a struggle, and there's a lot of chaos out there, that this is the time that we can do with any kind of help to make life a little bit easier for us, to ease back in ways that we're still taking action, but we're trusting that things can be a little bit in alignment. And the way things can be in alignment, or feels more beautiful, or feels more easy, is for us to open up to magic. So when you listen to this video, I want you to, like, take some time, take your notebook and a pen, and perhaps maybe think back and list 10 synchronicities that has happened for you recently, until you can find 10 to write down. And as you do, just acknowledge each one of them, and just like, wow, that was beautiful, thank you. Wow, that was amazing, thank you. Even if they're little things, wow, oh my God, I absolutely love that. Oh, that was funny how that happened. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you are stepping into this energy of magic. And then as you go about your day, just make this intention that you are open to miracles, that you're open to magic in your life. And just even that intention changes how you open up to it. So what you're doing in this process is like you are evoking this energy. Everything has its own resonance. So you are evoking the energy of magic, the energy of miracles. And as you evoke it, you're opening up to it. And as you do that, you're changing your own resonance and your energetic vibration, so that you can attract things a little bit more easier. How does that sound? And if you love to share some of your synchronicities with me, come back here, leave it under this video, and share some with us. It would be lovely to read some of your magical moments. Now, thanks for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe down here, and also you can press that button that says notification so that when I drop other videos, you can pick them up. And don't forget that we're currently in the 6th-part meditation episode on allowing flow in our lives. So if you haven't seen any of those, go back and watch them. And also, if you do click that bell button, you will get notification when I drop more of this meditation. Now, here's to more magic. Here's to more miracles. Here's to more allowing ease into your lives as you go out there and create in such powerful ways. Thanks for watching. Mwah.